If you're a physical therapist with your OCS and SCS certifications, pay attention. Hospital for Special Surgery, #1 in orthopedics, has partnered with NCH to bring elite musculoskeletal care to Southwest Florida. And they're looking for PTs like you. Work with cutting-edge rehab tech and thrive at a brand new state-of-the-art facility opening in 2025 in Naples, Florida. If you have your OCS and SCS and want to work with industry-leading physicians, apply now at nchjobs.org. That's nchjobs.org. Listen, if you're running a PT practice and you're still using old school systems, you're leaving time and you're leaving money on the table. Empower EMR is here to change that. It's an all-in-one, automated and built to streamline your scheduling, billing, and everything else so you can focus on what you do best, helping patients. Don't overthink it. Go to empoweremr.com. That's empoweremr.com. Book a demo and stop letting outdated tech hold you
No
back.
worries.
Don't think I'm not looking
we
at
are
you guys.
live. So PT Breakfast Club. I am here with Dave Kittle and our guest. David, I am so excited to have you here. Let me give the audience a little context about this, just so they kind of know where I'm coming from, how we got you here. So I've been obsessed with video, with social media. I've been terrible at it my entire life. Like, I've got videos going back to early. I think I started my first YouTube channel 2006 for context. I found your videos because I was looking at some promotional videos, Next Level, who I've worked with, and a couple other brands. And you were the first physical therapist that I saw that it was your channel, your name, but their ads. And so I don't want you to violate any privacy. We can talk about this a little bit.
Of course.
But I was like, how is this guy doing it? How do you have these other companies paying to run ads on your content? And then I just went down the rabbit hole. I went to your Facebook, I went to your Instagram, your YouTube, I went to every media you had. Blown away by the quality. And we're gonna get into some of the actual like hardware specs, which I know hardware doesn't matter. It's all about the story. But I had posted about you, and then Michael Highland said, hey, he was my student. I said, small world. And you found the post and we got connected, and Dave Kittle is here because, again, we love to kind of highlight people that are doing cool stuff in therapy. And we know the power of media. We know, where media is going in 2025 and beyond. So for context, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, when you graduated from PT school, what you were doing beforehand, and then we'll jump to what you're doing now.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. Well, first, thank you for having me. I've never been on a podcast before, so good luck to me. So yeah, my name is David Lapsudike. I'm a doctor of physiotherapy, certified strength and conditioning specialist. I graduated from the University of St. Augustine back in 2023. That was in April. Took my boards in July. Had a job lined up for me. So once I passed, started working in August, and the rest is history. Working at a cool clinic where I used to be a PT tech. So my history is I've been a personal trainer for almost like 10 years now. So I've been doing in person. I would go to people's homes and to gyms. I even started my own garage gym back in 2012, and I started building that up, and I would train a few clients there. And then I got a job as a PT tech, and that kind of really got me into like how, this is what I want to do. I want to do physiotherapy. Went to school, graduated. But yeah, that's a little bit about my background. And then when it comes to like the whole video and stuff, I mean, I've just, I could go way back to when my dad when I played Little League Baseball, my dad was the one who had the camera. He was taking photos of us, printing it for us, printing it for all the parents. Parents would pay him. And I just like the idea of photography. I started borrowing his camera to do my own portrait photography of friends, families, saving money until I could buy my first Canon camera. And that's when, that's probably like 2007, 2008. That's when I started creating my own content, mini movies, practicing my photography, practicing graphic design. That's a big part in school. I learned graphic design, and I illegally downloaded Photoshop and started practicing on Photoshop and all these things. And then that pretty much has led me to so many opportunities to work for people. I started posting online. Companies will reach out to me. And that's
So
kind of
you're
what
all
led me to
self-taught
this.
with this. It's not like you
Yes.
went and you were a photography major somewhere. This is all just you learning, experimenting,
Yeah, I
kind
think
of
everyone
figuring it
has
out.
always kind of told me like you have an eye for photography, and I guess I kind of do. And I kind of envision everything. I don't really sit down and say, all right, I'm gonna get this shot, I'm gonna get this shot. Like it's when I get, when I start, once I open up the camera, once I get to the location where the case is, I just start brainstorming. Oh, I like this. The lighting's over here is great, and I just go on from there.
Dave Kittle, you have got to, you're not as old as me, but you've heard this story 100 times. Like everything that David just said, I lived that exact life. I was the kid on the corner starting my own business. I was the kid, like he mentioned his dad was taking pictures and selling pictures to the team. Like I literally do that now, and then I get my kids involved with it. But the entrepreneurship, I swear it's innate, it's born in you. Now, I've got to ask you, David,
Yeah.
were your family, they came here from Guatemala, I think you said?
Yeah, so my family's from Guatemala. Both of them born, both my mom and dad born from Guatemala. Yeah, so they came here when they were young. My dad maybe like he was like 6, 7. My mom when she was like about like 18, they met here, and now you have me.
Before we started recording, we were talking. I said my mom was from Colombia, South America. She came here. She started her own business. Like the entrepreneurship gene just seems to get passed down generation to generation. Dave Kittle, before I ask David about some of the content he's creating now, any thoughts or questions you wanted to bring in?
Well, I mean, as as you were describing too, like I haven't mentioned, but we used to do backyard wrestling, and luckily my parents had the resources to have a video camera. And David, I don't know, do you remember VHS? VHS tapes? They're like this big. They're like an inch and a half thick. Okay, we had like a camera that literally would fit a whole VHS tape inside of it, and you would film. And I need to pull out a clip or something, or go back to my parents and watch some old
Yeah.
videos, because I have like a box of VHS tapes. And we were doing backyard wrestling. We created a league. It was called Extreme Trampoline Wrestling, ETW. And we would be like talking in the fake microphones with bad audio quality and filming.
Yeah,
So yeah, it seems like there's a lot of this common theme with like certain entrepreneurs and certain business owners, that like they have some of those either interests, maybe some
exactly.
advantages, and they find some ways. Like you had like your dad that was already using some of those cameras and things like that. So you
Yeah,
already saw at an early age, like it was just of an interest to you, and kind of like maybe like an early magnet.
exactly.
um but no, I mean, I want to get more into, because when Tony reached out yesterday about having you come on, like I didn't know about you at all, haven't had a chance to do much research. So like we'll get into it, but like
Of
I'd be
course.
curious as to hear, what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're kind of serving, and maybe some other therapists out there might, want to model this in the future.
So
Yeah.
first, let me
Go ahead.
ask you,
Mhm.
David, real quick, what do you see as kind of where we have come? I mean, you're really young into the profession. From where we've come to where we're going, specifically related to media. Like, give me some predictions. Give me your vision for the future of physical therapy as it relates to video, media, online services. What do you see the next 10 years? Because you're really creating the future. I'm on the way out. You're creating the future that I'm gonna watch from afar.
Yeah, definitely. So a good thing I see is that I used to work in graphic design, so I would see many businesses come in, printing their flyers, printing their banners, doing whatever they can to market themselves. And I feel like that slowly, I don't think that'll ever really go away. But I'm seeing now that social media is just the big thing now. Like if you have a business, you have to be on social media, and you don't have to have the best quality videos. You don't have to have 4K, this and that. I mean, smartphones are amazing. I mean, I could do a lot of the work if I really wanted to. I could put my camera away, go to a smartphone, and produce very, very high quality videos. But I mean, yeah, I think one of the big things now is that if you're not on social media, you're just losing out on so much potential to grow your business, whether it's a coffee shop, a restaurant, or if you're entrepreneur, if you do PT on if you have a business, you do PT. I think just social media is one of the bigger things. So I think everyone really, really should be stepping onto that, and on multiple platforms. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, um, YouTube as well. Just get your name out there. You don't even have to pay for ads. And yeah, I think that's my short answer for now.
Somebody who's kind of on the fence, maybe they've done a little bit right now, you're on all the platforms. What do you see as the biggest opportunity if somebody said, okay, I'm going to dedicate a block of time every single day? What platform should I focus on first?
I want to say Instagram, because I think Instagram is probably one of the bigger when it comes to like media. You know, you have your TikTok, it's called X now. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Twitter. You have Twitter, TikTok as well. So I would say Instagram and TikTok. I think those two are the bigger ones to focus on. But if I had to pick just one, definitely Instagram. I think that's the one that you could get the most growth, because people have a short attention span. Like, yes, YouTube is great as well, but not everyone's on YouTube looking up short form. Instagram's probably going to be the best for short form as well. So making your quick 15 30-second videos, I think that's going to be what's really going to grow you in the world of physical therapy. You know, if you want to go ahead and advertise your business, if you want to do some short exercise videos, rehab videos, whatever the case is, I think Instagram is probably going to be one of the better ones.
And when you're looking at this aspect of your business, you know, if you were to grab me 2 years ago, I would have said, this is an alternative revenue stream. This is a side hustle. Now I'm trying to get away from that language. I don't want people to think you have to have 7 revenue streams. You have one business, and this is just a product or a service within that business. That's the way I'm looking at it these days. So for you, when you're looking at this, the monetization aspect, like, we know that we can make money on YouTube from ad revenue. We know that we can sell products. We can do affiliate income. We can do so many things. You've got collaborations, which we'll talk about in a minute. Where do you see, like, are you mainly using Instagram to drive clients to your online service? Where's the bulk of the revenue coming from for you from media?
Gotcha. So my online business actually started recently. So actually, a lot of my content was more just to grow my following, right? I felt like, hey, if I can grow as much of a following, you know, more people would know who I am. So that when the time comes that I do have a business, you know, I'll have better, from my opinion, I would have a little better success. And it has kind of been that way. I mean, I think back in like during COVID, I think I had like 1,000 followers. I'm a little over 5,000 right now, which is still low, but you know, anyone could say that's pretty high right now. I forgot the question.
just the revenue kind of. So,
yes.
So I totally agree with your idea. You build the audience first, and then you can sell that audience pretty much anything. Where do you see it going from the build phase to then the monetization?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like so many people could just build from online monetization, whatnot. So I don't have too much on YouTube right now, so I can't really speak for YouTube. But when it comes to like, I'll talk mostly on Instagram, because that's where I'm biggest at, and the one I'm really posting on. You can make a lot from there. So I try not to be the one that just accepts, you know, all the to give you some content. I get a lot of companies that reach out to me, but for a lot of equipment, a lot of tools that I don't really use at all. So I'm very, very selective with it. So there's many ways you could really just make money out of that. If you really want to, you know, try to make a name for yourself and make money with businesses, I would say if a company reaches out to you, you know, do your research on them, see, you know, if it's a company that you feel you could actually work with, and you know, go for it.
So just to get some context, David, so I looked up on YouTube, and then I'm looking at your Instagram. So we're talking about mostly your Instagram videos. Is that like, that was what caught Tony's attention, Tony?
Yeah. Here, let me, for the audience watching, I pulled this up. Let me play it real quick. This is the first one that caught my attention.
Ever feel like neck pain is holding you back from getting the most out of your workouts? The Next Level Glide Pro might be exactly what you need. The Next Level Glide Pro is a neck trainer that strengthens and stretches the neck, helping to decrease pain and tension.
Okay, I don't want to get demonetized for running a commercial, so that kind of gives you the idea. But like, looking at something like that, you know, obviously Next Level is paying to run the ad, but
Yes.
it's your content on your channel, so that's gaining you subscribers, followers. That particular one was Facebook, but I know it's on other platforms too.
Yes.
I would imagine, and again, don't disclose anything you don't want to or are not supposed to. I imagine there's an agreement to, I'm going to pay this much toward ads on your platform, potentially an agreement to, I'm going to pay you for the creative generation, and then potentially an affiliate commission on any items if there's an affiliate link in there that are sold.
Yeah.
At scale, I mean, that's a significant revenue source, and you've done
Exactly.
it for other equipment that's really high quality equipment.
Exactly. Yeah. Whenever any company reaches out, that's something we talk about. We go through the agreement. We jump on a video call, voice call, a phone call, whatever the case it is, and we talk about it. What is your product? What is it that you want to do with the product? Who's your target audience? And that's kind of what we talk about. And of course, there's a finance part that comes with it. Again, I don't accept stuff from companies I won't believe in. So something like Next Level, when they reached out, I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is something that I would use. And yeah, we go through the whole calls and whatnot, the agreements, and something like that. What you mentioned is what we call whitelisting, where it could be posted on my account, but then they run ads on that. That way, it benefits both of us. Compared to if just, let's say, Next Level, if they were to post it on their end, sure, they probably paid me a certain amount for me to generate the video, whatnot. But now they have the full rights to post it on their website. And sure, I get the benefit of being paid, but I don't get the benefit of the exposure. So that's where the whitelisting comes from. So that's something that if anyone's listening to and you really want to work in this, whether you're great with video, whatever the case is, but you also want your audience to grow, definitely mention whitelisting.
Yeah, I had never heard the term whitelisting until I started researching your stuff.
Right.
So somebody like Dave Kittle. So Dave is in New York, affluent community, all self-pay, mobile in the home. I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, what do you see? What kind of content should somebody like Dave be putting out to attract his target audience?
Yes, I believe Dave is doing a concierge physiotherapy, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so I would say, if, maybe do some research on some companies that provide physiotherapy tools that you could travel with, right? You probably don't want to be carrying around, a leg press and stuff like that, right? You probably can't do that. So something like a Next Level, maybe some tools, some grasping tools, anything that's handheld, things that you could carry and that would actually benefit you. A couple of ways. One, I mean, you could hope that a company actually reaches out to you, that you've been making good content on your social media, talking about your concierge business, that they say, hey, you know what, we might benefit from sending him a grasping tool, right, or a scraping tool, and see how it goes. And if you accept it, awesome, you start making some of your content of your concierge using it. Or it could be, some of the things about 90% of companies have reached out to me, but I've reached out to a few of them. You could actually find their email. So one little trick, and I guess here's a little tip for anyone who's watching, is if there's a company you really want to work with and you like their product and whatnot, find their email. On a lot of times you can find it on Instagram, when where there's the follow button is somewhere there, it'll say contact and it'll open up their email. You can find the email there. You could go to the website, scroll all the way to the bottom, find their email, or just send them a DM. Hey, my name is Dave. I want to go ahead, I really like your product, this and that. Is it, I would like to talk about affiliate, or possibly, helping you with ads, whatever the case is. Do you have a moment to jump on a call or a voice call? And that has worked for me. We jump on calls and, everything starts from there. So those are a few tips I guess I would give you. Find something that you like, contact them, or just hope that they contact you.
Do you see a bigger chunk of your revenue eventually coming from brand deals and media, or from this move into online physical therapy training platform that you're building?
Yeah, so definitely the online platform, the online training is definitely going to be the main thing. That's the main thing I'm kind of branching towards. The online content creation definitely, helps a lot, but you gotta get some clients for that. It's easier for, at least in my opinion, it's easier for me to get online clients for physiotherapy compared to companies reaching out to promote their products. So definitely the online training.
What are you using for inspiration for the online training platform? I know AthleanX has something. I'm not going to say similar. I don't know what they're doing, what you're doing, but I know AthleanX, they're massive in media, but they also have the online training platform. Where did you come up with the idea? Who are you using for inspiration to create this?
Yeah, so I mean, the idea of online training actually came during COVID. And, I remember during COVID, I wanted to do like online personal training. I wasn't a physiotherapy therapist yet. So I opened up one of my editing programs, Photoshop. I started creating some logos there. I thought a bunch of them. And then I went to physiotherapy school. I put that away. And, back in late 2022, early 2023, that's when I decided, hey, you know what? I should start doing not personal training, but actually physiotherapy. So I just call it strength and rehab. So I pulled back that file, found Obey Strength, which is one of the ones I had created, and followed up with that. And when it comes to inspiration, really, back in 2022, there was another physiotherapist. I won't mention the name, but he was doing amazing. He was doing, I mean, he had like, and probably still has like 200, almost 300 paid clients a month. Couldn't handle the amount, so he actually hired me to start creating the programs for them. So he would do the initial assessment, run through all of that, and then send me the information. Hey, look, patient, client needs this, whatever. I'll make the program for them. And by being involved with him, I started seeing how much he was making, how easy it was. Not that it's an easy thing, but how easy for him, or the process, just making progress and whatnot. And that's what made me go back and open up that file to begin my own programming.
So David, you basically just graduated like, not even 2 years ago. So are you working for someone else, or are you 100% working for yourself with like online clients and now some of this media stuff?
So I work still in person in a physiotherapy clinic here in Miramar, Florida, but my business is all just myself. I don't work for anyone. I don't have anyone that works under me as well. It's just my own.
So are you working full time in the clinic or part time or what?
Yeah, I work full time in the clinic, and I do the online pretty much on the times I'm off, whether it's in the morning at this time and then at nighttime once I get back.
Got it. Without giving too much detail, whatever is
Yeah.
publicly available, would you give us a little idea of the framework, kind of how the online training platform, physical therapy business works? What are clients getting? Is it all like you're doing the programming and sending it to them? Are there live sessions? Is there a group for people to connect through the platform?
Yeah, of course. So basically, the whole process of this is, I mean, you as a physiotherapist or a trainer, right? You're trying to see how can you reach out and help more people online without spending your time there, right? As a personal trainer, you're probably seeing one person an hour. That limits you to 24 people a day. You're probably not going to do that. You're probably only going to see 8 to 12, depending on how hard you want to work. And that could be tiring, right? That takes up so much of your time. So the point of the online training is to be able to reach out to more people, multiple people, without spending your time there. Now, with online training, it's not where you are in front of a camera for 1 hour watching them work out, because that would pretty much be the same exact thing as in-person training. I'd much rather do in-person training than sit in front of a camera. The whole idea is to get people to you, do a free assessment. The way I do it, at least, I do a free assessment. They reach out to me. Hey, Dave, I have pain, my knee, the hip, whatever the case is. We jump on a call, do a full assessment, and based off that, I will invite them to my online training if they want to go ahead and do that. Cool. I sign them up immediately. They get an app. So with the app, they'll be able to get their program, which is tailored. So I'm not a big fan of the whole template based, because everyone's different. And if you keep doing template based, eventually many people are going to reach out and say, hey, I can't do this exercise. I don't have this equipment, whatever the case is. So everything's all tailored based off their goals, how many days they could work out, what equipment they have. And yeah, what they get is they get full messaging 24/7. They can message me whenever I want. I message usually in under 2 hours. They can send me videos of themselves doing the exercises as well if they need like form check or whatnot. But yeah, the most important thing is they get a tailored program based off their goals to help them either get back to pickleball, to tennis, to running, wherever the goal is, or even just being able to lift their child. Maybe they have back pain and they're unable to lift their child. And a big part of this is that a lot of people reach out to me who just don't have access to physiotherapy in person. Maybe they can't go to a clinic. It's too far, too expensive. They don't have the time. They're at-home mother who doesn't have the time to go out. So a lot of people that reach out to me are people who are struggling with time, but want to put in the work.
Would you
So
decide? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask about pricing, and then Dave will kick in. Is it a membership model? Is it a per session pricing?
It's more like per month, yeah. So, as being that I work with physiotherapy, my goal is that I try to get people back, to whatever they want to get to within 3 months. So I only sell 3 months packages. I could do more, but my thing has been always 3 months because that's the goal, right? If you come with back pain, I'm not gonna, promise in 1 month. I want to make sure that within 1 month to 3 months, you're going to feel better. And even once you start to feel better, I don't want to just say, all right, cool, you feel better. Awesome. That's it. Go back. No, I want to make sure you continue getting stronger. I keep educating you, right? Because after the 3 months, my goal is that you've felt better, you feel stronger, you're moving better, but you're also educated. At the end of the 3 months, now hey, now I know what to do. I know to continue doing exercise, focus more on this. So everything's per month as well. When it comes to pricing can be different. I'll give you more of a ballpark of what everyone in this type of industry charges, but some will do 1 month as low as $250 or even like $350, even $400 per month, and it could go up to 3 months being $1,500, maybe $2,500 around there. Some will even go up to 6 months, and that could be like $4,000. So I would say if we were looking at a month, monthly could be something as much as anywhere between like $300 to $400.
Dave,
Yeah, that's awesome. So I was a customer of this. I won't mention his name, but because he's still a good buddy of mine. He's a doctor of physical therapy as well.
Cool.
Wrote programs. He's doing it. He's working remotely. I'm pretty sure he's doing it full time. So he used True Coach. So I paid him. I think it was like $1,000 for 3 months. So call it $333 a month or whatever. And then every 3 months, like you renew it or re-up it or whatever. And I think I did 2 or 3 rounds of that. So I think I did like 6 months, maybe 9 months of it. I would go in, same type of thing you mentioned, right? So like he did like an intake with me, and it was like, what are my goals? So for me, it was like, I want to work out every day. I want to perspire every day. It might not be heavy stuff, maybe some heavy days, lighter days. I want to break a sweat every single day. Some mobility stuff mixed in. Here's my equipment, home equipment, home workout type stuff, all the equipment that I have. So he had my goals. He had what I wanted to do. He had my equipment, all that. We use True Coach, go in, here's exactly the workout. Here's the video that links to it, the reps, the sets, all that. I go through it. After 2 or 3 months, I stopped. I still work out. I would like to nicely push back on this because I love this as an opportunity, but I personally don't see the value in it. Like I did it I partly signed up because I wanted to support my buddy, but then I was like, all right, I'm doing this. And then, I don't know, maybe I'm different. Like I have my own internal accountability where I said to my buddy who lives in another state, I was like, I would rather pay you to do what you say you don't want to do, David, which is in person. Like I kind of like the in-person thing of like, I want someone there and then like almost like a in-person personal trainer, but to do this remotely where I pay the person, yes, I can send you guys text messages. I can ask questions, whatever. If I didn't know, hey, I have a calf strain, I have this, that, how do I do a workaround? Maybe you adjust my program. But I think it's concerning that there's churn. There's a lot more churn in this particular type of business compared to a lot of other businesses. So how would you combat that? How would you, this is all my personal bias. Like, I just don't think that this is the future for physical therapists or even personal trainers. And unless you raise your rates, you're going to have people that churn out. And I just don't see this being sticky enough for me to continue to pay the rest of my life for, maybe I switch, maybe I go from the other physical therapist, maybe I go to your program, and I always have some remote coach, right? I just didn't see the value in it. I would go in the app and I'm like, I'm doing the workouts, but I'm like, I know enough to just do it myself. And I don't see the value. Like, why would I continue to pay $1,000 every 3 months or whatever? So is that something that you acknowledge that there's going to be folks that cancel and churn out? Maybe is it 20% of people that would use this forever? Is it 60% of people that are going to use this forever?
Yeah, of course. So thanks for your feedback. Yeah. So, it all really depends on the person, right? So I'm definitely not one of those people that think you need to be with me for, 6 months, 12 months, which is why I offer, hey, my goal is in 3 months, let's get you back to your goals, feeling better, whatever the case is, so you could return. And what I mentioned earlier was the education, right? My goal is that after the 3 months, you've been educated, I've educated you, answer your questions, leave you with a program that you could now continue to do. And if in the future, some type of pain, injury comes back, if you want to come see me again, awesome, we'll do another 3 months. But it's definitely not one of those things to hold you, here forever. And I understand, some people might start it, they might not continue, maybe the price is too much for them. I definitely don't think this is the future for physiotherapy. And this is why also I continue to do physiotherapy in person. I haven't left this 100%. Because it's like a side thing for me, right? It's a quick way for me to make money on the side. I'm not spending that time with you. Yes, I do agree. I would like to do one-on-one a little more, but it does take time, right? And I don't think I will be making as much as I can as just working in a physiotherapy clinic doing personal training. It's a lot harder for that. So yeah, I think anyone who's looking into this, don't jump right into it. Don't go 100% right into it and leave your job and quit, right? Keep your job, experiment. Try taking one client, every month, two if you can, whatever the case is, and start growing from there. Because even yourself, you might even get bored of it. You might just prefer the in-person more than online. But yeah, I understand not everyone needs in online. Some people can't do it, but my goal is to get clients who, like I said earlier, who maybe don't have time to go into physiotherapy clinics. Maybe it's too far. Maybe, you're out of network with the locations that are near you. And maybe you have all the equipment and you just want some guidance because you have that injury. Maybe you know how to work out, but you don't really know the rehab aspect of it, which is why in those 3 months, my goal is to help you, educate you, and get you back to your goals. And I hope that kind of answer your question.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I real quick, like
Go ahead.
this whole online, and this was like I think a little bit before COVID, but definitely during COVID, like the online world for personal trainers, and a little bit of like now the telehealth and all that. And now there's like the Sword Health, the Hinge Health, all that, and you have, I'm sure, a ton of friends and colleagues that are physical therapists doing this, and then also probably personal trainers doing this.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yes, there's going to be some people where it works for them, the end consumer, because they're cost conscious. They don't want to go to a physical therapy office. They don't want to go to a gym, a personal training facility. This could be a lower cost way for someone to kind of enter the fitness world or get some of their, aches and pains maybe resolved through rehab movements, some drills, whatever, and they're going to do it on their own. The one challenge there is the accountability. Are they actually going to do it? Which is a huge component of this, where like then if they're not going to get better, they're not going to be accountable because you're not seeing them do the reps, even though I know that's like the personal trainers and the physical therapists, like they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, we don't want to count reps. We don't want to count reps. Let's just, we'll do an online programming." I think the online programming is for someone who already has a lot of like independence and compliance
Exactly.
in their life. And this will not be a solution for the people that don't have the compliance, and those types of people are the ones that need this the most.
Exactly. And that's why even from the beginning, once I jump on a call with them, one of the big things is about, just like letting them know, like, yeah, hey, you have to be compliant with this, right? So I'm not gonna sit here, charge you $300, $400, $500 a month for you to just, submit one workout per week, or even if you do, right? So, my goal, I let them know, hey, look, this is an investment you're making, right? It's a lot of money. But if you want to get better, you need to go ahead and make sure you are doing these activities. Same thing with physiotherapy in person. So if a client comes to me, I'm educating them from the beginning, that initial exam, I'm letting them know, look, I think based off whatever's going on, your symptoms, whatever the case is, I think anywhere between 2 to 3 times is going to be best. Is that something you feel you could do? No, I don't think so, blah, 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 whatever the case is. And I let them know again, about, tissue healing and everything, whatever the case is. Even if it means, hey, look, I understand you're a busy person, you have work, life, this, whatever the case is. Do you think you could commit to at least 1, maybe 2 times a week? And I'm going to start educating them every time you come here. I'll show you some exercise, things I want you to do at home. And most of the times they pick that up as well too. So, everyone's a little different. Some people will be more into the in-person. A lot of people, trust me, a lot of people like the online. So, it might not have worked for you. And I understand that it's completely different for everyone. But I think, yes, there is a lot of potential for, many clients to sign up with you online.
Yeah, Dave and I never see eye to eye on this. I think you're going 100% in the right direction. If I could be reincarnated, I want to come back as you, because I think your future is so bright. You're touching that sweet spot between like a Hinge or Sword Health and full in-person one-on-one. You're accessing a community that really doesn't have that many resources, certainly not that many physical therapy resources with an actual physical therapist. And there are so many people hidden. They're hidden in the shadows, but I'll name a few. Like Dean Volk's done amazing with his sciatica and his workshop. Charlie Johnson. There was another guy that I can't think of right now. I had his name in my head. He does a ton with runners. He's done it forever. Cool. There's a woman who's doing it with dancers and Cirque du Soleil travelers, even from that aspect, like professional sports CEOs, athletes who can't be there. I still go back to, if I value my time, I don't want to pay you for 60 minutes. I will pay you more for 20 minutes if you can get me the same result.
Exactly.
And so I think this is exactly the direction. Plus, last thing, and I know I told you I'd let you go at 9 o'clock.
No worries.
I think that putting something like this out there to fill the bank account with the cash that you need to give you the freedom to then do the other stuff, so that you can afford to do in person if you want to do it.
Exactly.
But it's not scalable. You're never going to make enough money. And this could potentially be an acquisition target back into Dave's world, Dave Kittle's world. Like, this is something that has a framework that could be built and could be sold for significant multiples more than an in-person clinic. David Kittle, you're saying no.
No, what is there to buy? Tell me
the whole model, the whole business. Like, it doesn't have to be him doing the programming, but as he's bringing members in and he's got recurring revenue. The one thing I do disagree with you on a personal level, I agree. I love finite 12-week plan of care. We're done. But on a business level, no, you should be a part of my community for the rest of your life. As long as you are moving through space, you should be part of my online community. So I would want patients for life when it comes to the business, but I totally get it on a personal level. But yeah, if he's signing up, a couple hundred, then a couple thousand, and this is recurring revenue, this is infinitely scalable as long as you have the platform. I go back to companies like My Body Tutor, which does the accountability all remotely. Sam Parr and My First Million always talk about them, and these are, decamillionaires. No, this is an amazing business. I am so grateful for you sharing this information so that other therapists can see, like, look, this is something that we could absolutely do. You don't have to do it. You can keep doing one-on-one. You can keep struggling, in the clinic and grinding it out, and it's rewarding in its own right. But I do like the idea of putting tons of money in the bank account, so then I could go grind it out in the clinic if I want, not because I have to.
Yeah, and actually some of about two of them right now I could think of right now who started with the online business. They were doing so good. Now they did so well. They were able to now open up their own clinics. Now they have clinics online, and they take still clients online, but just a little less now. So they were able to, pay some of their debts, or either all of it, or somebody open up a clinic or two. So, there's a lot of opportunity there.
All right, last question.
They did the online stuff, and then they open up brick and mortar. You heard that, right, Tony?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, fill your bank with money.
Yeah.
And then you can blow it however you want. You can lose money in a brick and mortar clinic for the next 20 years if you put enough in the bank account with scalable online businesses.
Yeah, to be honest, if I were, let's just say right now I was making so much, $1 million, for example, and with an online training, I would like to open up something online. I mean, in person now. I don't know if it'll be a physical therapy clinic itself, but even if some type of gym, something that has rehab inside as well too, but continue the online, because as much as I'm making now an income with the in-person stuff, I still have that online as well too. And that's something like, for example, you with the concierge, right? You're seeing clients, I think it's like in New York. I don't know if you travel to everyone's homes and whatnot. And then just imagine now at the end of the day, you go to your coffee shop, sit down, and now you could go ahead, answer your emails, answer your messages, form checks, or the case is, maybe you have a new client that you scheduled at 5, maybe one at 6, one at 7, answer a few there, see if they're potential clients, sign them up. And that's really only something that in reality, a lot of them are, they're great at doing everything themselves. They don't need to contact you every single day. They don't need a form check every single time. Sometimes it only takes about maybe like 10 minutes a day for every like 5 clients, really, just to like answer some emails, maybe look at a form check, whatever the case is, and you're making let's say you had 10 of those clients, each paying $300. I mean, you can see how much extra you're making just from that.
All right, so we have a tradition. We close the show now. Dave, Kittle, and I are going to stay on for just a little bit longer once you leave, but we close the show with a parting shot. If you were going to leave one little nugget of wisdom for anybody listening, anybody watching, what would you like to leave them with?
I would say if you're really trying to grow online, just start posting weekly, every week, 2 to 3 times a week, any type of content, rehab content, exercise content, memes, funny type of content. Just keep posting. Everyone thinks that they're going to grow from just one video, but it's consistency. I've seen many people who have stayed consistent for years since COVID times. When I followed them on COVID, they were in physical therapy, and it's not since like the last year or 2, then now they're just following. It's just growing. So consistency is definitely key. Don't give up, like in life and anything, right? Things are going to start off slow. And I say definitely just continue to stay consistent, and you'll see that you'll be successful with whatever you want to be.
All right, David. Scott
awesome.
is in West Palm. He said, you're killing it. He loves St. Augustine students. Shout out to Stanley Paris. I shared your Instagram link in the chat across all the platforms. So if anybody wants to follow, keep an eye on this guy. Like, he is going to do great things. I swear, it's like what I've seen enough. I remember Alex Hermosi when he had like 1,000 followers on YouTube just explode, and you knew it was going to happen. I can't wait to see you cross that, 600 or 100,000 subscriber mark across all your channels. Anyway, go enjoy the rest of your day. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys for having me here. Talk
to you soon. All right, Dave Kittle. So now back to one Dave squared. Yeah, like, okay, let me share for context real quick. So I was watching Alex Hermosi last night. He was talking to a woman who started a fashion styling business. It was all online. She was, doing videos, then she would see their skin and eyes and hair and make recommendations on all this stuff. And I want to say she was charging $3,500 a month plus the cost of the clothing. Her target demographic was an individual who's making $1 million or more annually. So CEOs, celebrities, things like that. But the difference is, because it's online, it's not just in a 3-mile radius like a physical therapy clinic. It's literally anywhere in the world. So I see that being the model. I think his price is too low, but I'm sure, like anything, we all started with pricing too low for David. But I think as he's got the look, he's got the branding, he's got everything, I can see him getting up there into the $1,000 or more a month. I also think he's got a little bit of that gene that affects us all, where he's like, I don't want to take advantage, and I don't want to, overcharge and under deliver. We all suffer from that. But I can't wait for like a decade from now. I'm going to be sitting somewhere sipping a cocktail, flipping through social media, and I'm going to see where he is and what he's doing.
I think he's awesome. He definitely has the look. He can communicate well. He's confident. That was awesome to meet with him and chat with him. Specifically, I think you should pay some personal trainer or physical therapist for one of these programs. And I think you might find after 3 months, you're underwhelmed. They're going to say, hey, Tony, what's your program? What you wanted to run, now you run, maybe you run less because we're doing the Breakfast Club 2 times a week in the mornings or whatever. What are your goals? What do you want to do? You want to do running X amount of days per week or per month, and you want to do some loading, some strengthening. They build a program for you, and then you go work out. And then you work out, you know, every day or every other day or whatever. And you go in this whatever app, True Coach or whatever the app is. You go in, they already have the program there, and you basically like check off if you did the exercise or not, or you change the reps or sets, and then you add the notes like I did this other exercise instead of this exercise. It's just, I don't know what it is. Unless someone there, and maybe it's coming soon. There's a physical therapist or a personal trainer that is built a company that is not built around themselves, first of all, and then says, here's our churn. The amount of people that cancel it's getting lower and lower and lower because we're adding all these other things. But I think you're going to find that if they add other things, it's going to be daily video check-ins. It's going to be daily, you know, one-to-ones, whatever. If you do this program, if you do a program like this, I don't care who makes it, Tony, pay for it, $300 a month or whatever it is, or for 3 months or 6 months or whatever. I think even you would be underwhelmed. And I think that is the core challenge with this. It does solve a solution, but this remote thing it benefits the provider, the professional more than the actual end consumer customer. It benefits the therapist or the trainer more because they're like, I can do this remote, I can do this anywhere. I make these programs and I just tweak them for the next couple of people. And it's beautiful. Like I can just sit on a beach and I can make all these protocols and programs for these patients and clients, and then they just go and do them. And they're not doing the programs. They're not. I'm telling you, most people will not take their phone and their app and say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And most people need support. They need check-ins. They need more guidance. They need more motivation. They need more encouragement. Unless I could be wrong, and I'll come back here on this podcast in a year or 2 or 5 years or whatever. And if there's, you know, if most of the therapists in the country, thousands of therapists are saying I'm making, I don't know, 500 grand a year, and it's like in 2 hours of my time a day or whatever, like I'll come on and I'll say I'm wrong. But until that happens, I just don't see it.
So Scott said, Tony may not be the target audience. Perhaps less experienced folks would love the instruction. Let me ask you, Dave, because I agree with Scott. Like, I don't think you're the target. I don't think I'm the target. But let's move outside of this world. And I don't know, because, you know, I'm trying to think what other kind of online platforms. I think the most obvious, but it's free, is Facebook. Right? Like you and I connected through Facebook. We built a relationship. We come back to Facebook every single day. I realize we're not paying for it, but at the same time, like there's stickiness in that. And you and I have never met in person, and hundreds of people that I know have never met in person. So you've got that, which says, okay, at least on a free level, or, you know, we can make this work. And then I wonder too about, like, I've never been part of a mastermind, but you've got these masterminds and different groups that are all virtual where people are paying big money to go to. I do think there's probably an advantage where I could see an online exclusive community that also has in-person events. So what Sam Parr is doing with his professional network, they do in-person events, but the majority of it is all virtual, all online. And these people are paying tens of thousands of dollars to be part of this. So it's like, we don't maybe value the exercise part because we've got a pretty decent knowledge and understanding of it. Do you think there's something outside of exercise, fitness, physical therapy that you could see yourself belonging to in a virtual community that you would pay for and probably stick to for a prolonged period of time?
That I would stick to. I don't, not that I can think of.
Can you see things out there like that though? Maybe not that
So,
you're
well,
doing, but that other people are doing.
I'll have to think about that for a second. When
Yeah.
you were just talking about what you just mentioned like a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, I thought of Weight Watchers, right? So Weight
Okay.
Watchers, that you were saying Facebook, how it's free, and then there's Weight Watchers where it's like, I don't know, one of the tiers. It's like It's a
$10
low
or
barrier. It's
something.
like
Yeah.
$10 a month, right? Okay, Tony, Weight Watchers and all the other things out there. Oh, I forgot all the other names. There's a million other options, but Weight Watchers is pretty big. And even though they took a big hit when Oprah left, and I just pulled up, they did 193 million in revenue in 2024. I know family members and friends and neighbors and folks that have gone to Weight Watchers, then they did this diet, that diet, the South Beach diet, keto, anti-keto, uh, reverse keto, whatever. Like Weight Watchers again, and then a couple years later, Weight Watchers again. This is what I'm talking about. Like the online stuff is no different than the Weight Watchers, and Weight Watchers probably helps a certain amount of people where they actually stay compliant and they actually follow it. And Weight Watchers makes it a little more, I think it's Weight Watchers or it's another one recently where you go in the app and they have basically like every restaurant in the US like listed, and you can pull up their menu and you pull up whatever the point system is. There's like a point system of like this burger is 2 points or I don't know, whatever. Um, I think what I'm really getting at is I'm not slamming PTs or personal trainers or the online thing or telehealth or anything, but the point is that a lot of humans will not get the results that we're talking about because of not having the in-person or some other form of accountability and guidance and redirecting to stay on task and stay on the program. uh, that is, I think, the crux of what I'm always hitting on with the telehealth and the video and the virtual and all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna so David came back on, said perhaps Dave's just speaking on his experience. I have patients 90% plus compliant with all their exercises, love getting on calls with me and messaging me. Yeah, I agree. I agree with both aspects. I also, though, disagree with how we're categorizing getting results, because again, how many people have bought a treadmill in the last 12 months,
And it just sits
spent the
there.
money, aren't using it? But I'm going to argue they got what they were buying. They bought the dream of being fit and buying a treadmill and getting excited and trying to make lifestyle change. But then they realized they didn't want to do that. So then they didn't do it.
Exactly. So if a lot of Americans historically buy a treadmill and then they use it as a coat rack and they hang their shirts on it and all that, that's with a physical item in their home, and they don't even use that. So a lot of people, they sign up for a virtual thing, and
But either way,
more are not going to do it. Either way, they're not going to do it. That's the point. I agree.
But they got the result they wanted. The result they wanted. They thought they wanted to get fit. They didn't want to get fit. They just wanted the excitement of buying something and the dopamine rush of the excitement of planning to get fit.
Planning to get fit.
Yeah, you buy the lottery ticket not because you're going to win the millions, because you get excited to dream about what if you did win millions, and we know that after you do win the millions, you lose it all anyway. So I go back to, I think if you go to the deeper level of this and you say, okay, they're buying something for the excitement of the purchase, even if they never use it. People buy courses and never take the courses. I've done that. The other aspect here too, though, I think if we reverse this and we say, well, wait a minute, I've been in business since 2002. I've had over 10,000 clients come through the door, probably closer to 20,000. I'm just guessing. They're not all still with me, right? There's 20 clients that have been with me for a decade. There's another 19,990 that came a couple sessions and dropped off. It's the same thing with online. We have that in person too.
I think the utilization, there's got to be some future study that'll come out about like the utilization of the in-person personal training, in-person physical therapy, whatever, is just the amount of times of like booking and then showing up and then actually doing it versus this virtual world. We have no idea. David, if you're still listening, he said 90% of his clients are compliant. How do you know that? When I was using the True Coach app, I can just check off, oh yeah, I did this, and it's all the honor code. It's the honor system. My guy, my personal trainer, a buddy, or physical therapist buddy of mine, I submit my workout. I mean, sometimes the workouts, like, they were good. I mean, they were great. Sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like doing this, and I would do some other exercise in my garage. And like sometimes I would add it to the program, and sometimes I wouldn't. So my personal trainer, physical therapist, has no idea what I actually did. No idea. So David, respectfully, how do you know, just because they're doing a check mark on an app and then hitting submit workout, how do you know that they're actually, how do you know that they're doing 90% compliance?
All right, let's put a pin in it, because this is clearly a good topic that needs to be discussed more. David has tons more to say, he said, but limited in the chat. I
we
think
gotta,
this
we gotta
is
get
great.
him back in a couple episodes or something.
My parting shot is, I don't think it matters. Like, I go back to, I mean, I think I've got this existentialist gene in me. None of this stuff matters. Like, if they're paying, they're getting what they want, whether it's what I want them to get or what they want to get. I don't care. This was a hard lesson for me to learn as a new therapist, because I would get patients that came in and they were so grumpy and they were so angry and they were so rude and they were so, but that I came to realize finally, I'm like, why is this guy paying $50 copay every time, complaining about everything, never saying a single positive thing, and yet he never misses the appointment and he always comes? Because he is clearly getting what he wants, whatever that may be, even though it's not what I want for him. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think as long as people are checking in, as long as the people are paying the membership, they're getting what they want. Doesn't matter, if it's what I want them to get. What's your parting shot?
Parting shot is I hope more physical therapists and personal trainers can come prove me wrong. I want to hear about physical therapists making $1 million online with, I don't know, 80% gross margins or whatever, or 90, whatever it is, where the fulfillment is a low. You have, like David said, he doesn't do templates, but he makes, you make every workout from scratch. I would love to hear more physical therapists doing this that are coming on and saying, hey, I want to come on the podcast. I want to come on Learn Medicare Billing. I want to come on the Breakfast Club, the Dave Kittle Show. And just, I want to share, like, if they're open to it, like, let's share some numbers. Like, I want to hear, like, how many people month to month or year to year cancel and churn out, like you said, Tony. And I want to hear, like, who's the ideal client, and maybe I'm dead wrong. So I want to hear from more physical therapists about this.
All right, buddy. And that is the show. Don't forget, go to the Dave Kittle Show, go to the PT Pintcast, go to Learn Medicare Billing, subscribe, follow, join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30. We always have stuff to talk about. Dave, thanks for joining me again.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, David.
The PT Pintcast is a product of PT Pintcast LLC. It is hosted and produced by PT Pintcast CEO Jim McKay and CBO Sky Donovan from Marymount University. We talk PT, drink beer, and record it. This has been another pour from the PT Pintcast. The PT Pintcast is intended for educational purposes only. No clinical decision-making should be based solely on one source. While care is taken to ensure accuracy, factual errors can be present. More on the show at ptpintcast.com.
Physical therapists, if you're not up on blood flow restriction training, you're missing out. BFR, it's the future of rehab. Owens Recovery Science has the certification for learning BFR from the ground up. You'll get hands-on with the best tech, expert insights, and tools to deliver real results for your patients. Stop waiting. Check out owensrecoveryscience.com. That is owensrecoveryscience.com, and get certified in BFR today. Physical therapists, if you're ready to stop playing small and actually master your specialty, Brooks Institute of Higher Learning is where it's at. Imagine one-on-one mentoring, hands-on labs, top-tier facility, all while earning a full salary and benefits at Brooks Rehabilitation. We're talking 8 cutting-edge residencies, specialized fellowships, and a 93% board pass rate for graduates. Get trained by the best with the best. Check out brooksihl.org. That's brooksihl.org, and start leveling up your career today.